In the past, Farsight has explored the lives of many notables, including religious leaders. We have closely studied, for example, the life of Jesus in connection with the so-called crucifixion event. But we have never studied the life of Jesus when he was younger, such as when he was born, or when he was an adolescent, or even what he was doing before he became a human on earth. Well, that changes today with this new Farsight project where the focus is on young Jesus. So let's cut to the chase and dive into the early life of Jesus. Starting with his birth, there is so much mystery about the birth of Jesus from a theological point of view. It only makes sense that we would want to take a look at exactly what was happening when Jesus was born. And if Jesus was a special being, as so many suggest, it only makes sense that his adolescent life was important. He must have had great teachers, for example, and we would be interested in the types of beings who watched over him. And finally, if Jesus decided to visit Earth, then who was he before he did this? Was he just some random guy who decided to have an experience as a human, or was something much bigger going on? These are the types of things we want to know. So Farsight created this project so that we might be able to learn more about this enigmatic figure. But this project has something new that I think will be very helpful with interpreting the data. In addition to remote viewing sessions that you are about to see, we now have a new form of analysis. Starting with this project, we are using AI, or more specifically ChatGPT, to go through all of the final video sessions for this project. Now, ChatGPT only looked at the sessions themselves, not any commentary about the sessions that often appears in the target reveals. The idea is that ChatGPT is able to give us an unbiased analysis of what is in the sessions, as well as to analyze the level of corroboration that is contained in the sessions across the remote viewers. This is huge, and I expect that using AI to analyze remote viewing sessions will become a standard feature in future remote viewing projects, at least at Farsight. Since this is the first time for us to use AI to analyze our remote viewing projects, I'm going to go through the ChatGPT analysis before you see the sessions. But in future projects, we will likely show you the analysis of the AI after you see the sessions, or in some situations in a separate video. I think you will be pleasantly surprised at how much we can learn through this approach. Now, every Farsight project has a target. Now, obviously, the remote viewers do not know the target when they do their sessions, but you need to know the target when you watch them describe their perceptions. So I am going to tell you the target. For this project, the target goal is to observe the person now known as Jesus at various times. There are 3 focuses for this target. Now, focus 1 is the birth of Jesus, and subject E is Jesus as a baby. Now, subject B is Mary, his human mother. Then we go to focus 2. Focus 2 is Jesus as a young boy, a teenager, potentially while sleeping. And in that focus, subject F is Jesus, that's the young boy. And finally, we have focus 3, and that is Jesus before he was born as a human, and that is subject A. Now, we're going to put up text on the screen for you to remind you of these meanings when you watch the sessions. Now, again, Jesus when he was born, then again as a teenager, and finally as he was before he was born as a human. Now, let me give you a rundown of the analysis of the sessions by ChatGPT. Remember that all of the sessions were conducted totally blind by the remote viewers. They knew nothing about the target when they did their work, and now this analysis by AI is done without ChatGPT knowing any commentary that was made during the full video. ChatGPT was only given the target for the project and the session data. Now, the session data supplied to ChatGPT was an exact transcript of everything that was said in the video recordings of the remote viewing sessions. Again, ChatGPT was not given any commentary that was made about the sessions in the videos, just the data themselves. Now, this initial analysis by ChatGPT covers the themes that were detected in the session data for all of the remote viewers. We also have a technical analysis of the exact words that were used by the remote viewers, as well as a semantic analysis of the meaning of those words. And that is more complicated than you want to see in this video, so we are going to present that part on our website, farsight.org. So, here is the analysis of the themes as perceived by our remote viewers. Now, to ease the presentation of this information, we allow ChatGPT to use the name Jesus in the analysis, since that name is in the target description. But remember that the remote viewers did not know the target when they did their session, and they did not use that name in their sessions. They said things like subject E or subject A and so on. So here we go. Focus 1 is the birth of Jesus. The target is Jesus being born as a human. Now the subjects are subject E, which is Jesus being born, subject B, Mary giving birth, and location W, which is the birth environment. Here are the key findings across the remote viewers. There were multiple references to Jesus' birth and the presence of his mother, Mary. Viewers described the physical and energetic environment surrounding the birth. Mentions of non-visible subjects or protective forces being present at the birth, and their descriptions of environmental conditions, structures, and external references are there. The conclusion is that Jesus' birth was not an isolated event. It was monitored, protected, and strategically positioned. Some viewers identified non-visible presences, possibly extraterrestrial or energetic forces, ensuring that his birth proceeded without interference. Now let's go to focus 2, Jesus as an adolescent. The target is Jesus as a young boy, potentially while sleeping. The subject is subject F, Jesus as a young boy, and here are the key findings across the viewers. The viewers describe Jesus at rest, but possibly undergoing influence or subconscious experiences, perceptions of external forces interacting with Jesus during this time. Some viewers mention of Jesus being associated with a group they call Group K, implying interaction with others. References to a possible mentorship, guidance, or preparatory influence regarding his future role. The conclusion is that Jesus' adolescent period was not passive. He may have been undergoing subconscious training, guidance, or energetic interactions with unseen influences. The presence of a group, Group K, suggests that he was not entirely alone in this phase of his development. Okay, now let's go to focus 3, the pre-birth Jesus. And the target is Jesus before he was born as a human. The subject is subject A, which is Jesus before his incarnation. Here are the findings across the viewers. At least one session directly references Jesus' existence before birth. There are descriptions of an energy transition, spiritual state, or pre-incarnational awareness. Some viewers detected non-physical beings or entities interacting with Jesus prior to his human incarnation. There is limited explicit detail, but strong implications that his arrival on Earth was intentional and part of a larger mission. The conclusion is that the perception of Jesus' pre-birth existence aligns with the idea that he was an advanced being before choosing to incarnate as a human. The data supports the idea of a transition process rather than a random or uncontrolled birth event. Here are the final insights that ChatGPT mentions. This focus-based thematic analysis confirms that Jesus' birth was a monitored and controlled event. His adolescent phase involved interactions beyond normal human development. He existed in some form before his birth, indicating a deliberate incarnation process. And now here's the final assessment of the overall analysis that includes the technical analysis. This project strongly supports the idea that Jesus was not God, but a highly advanced Isbe who chose to incarnate on Earth. He had extraterrestrial protection, both subtle and direct, bodyguards at birth. He received guidance, but it was intuitive and indirect rather than formal ET mentorship. His birth was not manipulated, but it was monitored and energetically significant. His pre-birth existence suggests he was a deliberate incarnation with a mission. Now, some of the sessions suggest that not all elements of this story were equally visible. Some themes were perceived differently depending on the remote viewer, but deeper analysis confirms their alignment. Overall, Jesus appears to have been a deliberate incarnation into Earth's prison system, likely with the goal of shifting human consciousness. His protection and monitoring by non-human entities indicate his mission was important to larger cosmic forces, but they avoided direct intervention in his development. Well, as you can see, that's the end of the overall analysis by ChatGPT. And again, the more detailed technical analysis we're going to put on our website, farsight.org. But as you can see, we get a lot of analysis from having an AI look at our data objectively. And remember always that Farsight is totally data-driven. We never rely on he said, she said information. And we never accept official reasons for anything. We never state that something is true because so-and-so said it is true. So let us present our data to you so that you can make up your own mind. We have 4 remote viewing sessions for you to see today. Watch and listen to these sessions closely. The answer to many of the questions that you may have can be found in these data. And after you watch all of the data in these sessions, I will return to pull everything together. We start with a session from Intisam, and then Aziz Brown, Yeme Genet, and finally Shantae. Here are our perceptions of young Jesus.